Hey guys, this is just a quick video showing a little bit of the end game of the skill and how we're going now that we're in the later tier of maps. So for context, we're almost up to our first Awaken of 5 Cyrus. I've been doing tier 12s of the skill and currently for me it's working just fine, and for many others that have joined my Twitch chat they've also said it's working pretty okay. But I understand that the skill is very awkward to scale to this point and it might seem really difficult, but I'm just going to quickly go through some tips in order to get you to this point, some things you can make changes to in order to help your build work better for the end game, etc. So the first tips you can do to make your skill work in the end game is you can work towards buying some incredibly cheap upgrades. So first of all, two swords you can get very early on for very cheap is one, a replica Dream Feather, and an Arn's Might. These two swords can carry you to red maps very easily. They're actually insane. My replica Dream Feather was very comparable to the sword I'm currently using. The only difference being I got very lucky and managed to yoink the best in slot sword for our build for very cheap. But this sword right here is exactly the same as damage wise replica Dream Feather, and an Arn's Might would probably be better than it anyway. The other upgrade gear wise you can make is getting the cheapest 6-link you can get and slotting it in. You can get it as cheap as 7 chaos here, 8 chaos, 10 chaos. As long as you have 4 greens, 2 reds, you can slot your splitting steel in, and that's all you need. It doesn't really matter. If you want a little fancier, you could sort by life and maybe go for something like within a price range. Maybe you have a budget of 30 chaos and you don't mind spending a little more. You can search by max life. Let's click here. And bang, this one, 109 max life, 25 chaos. That's really good. That's way better than the chest piece I'm using right now. I only have 90 max life. So those two changes alone can make the build insanely great. I'm just checking in some mapping gameplay right now to just kind of go over and show what the skill's looking like. It's performing well. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna act like this thing's gonna walk into a Conqueror and bitch slap them. You walk into a Conqueror and it's a fight. You really do have to fight. And one thing that you have to learn pretty quickly when playing this build, and I understand if you don't like the skill because of it, is that this is so incredibly active for a skill. You need to be using everything all the time. Your shard management is incredibly important, and managing them all while running through a map and splitting your way through, activating your endurance charges and everything can be a little much. A lot of our damage actually comes from steel shards, so it's super necessary. And we've actually switched our single target setup to a lancing steel. So splitting steel has alright numbers, but it's never going to perform to a point where it's effective for conquerors. Well, not in my eyes. So I've simply switched to a 4-link lancing steel, and as like gross as it is, I do just gem swap these out into my 6-link for the conquerors. But other than that, that's all I do. I don't really switch them out on a normal boss, not really necessary. The 4-link would do just fine. But obviously when you're fighting a 4 Watchstone Drox or 4 Watchstone El Hazim, it can be a little frustrating if you're just trying to get by with your splitting steel. And the fight can take a little while as is. It's not like I said, it's not like my other builds, like Earthshadow, where the fight's over within like a few seconds. It is quite a fight, but it doesn't make the skill that much worse or that unplayable. So I'd recommend if you have League started with it, possibly consider persevering. It might be a lot better for you in order to persevere, earn up some currency, do some chaos recipes, and then maybe gear for a second character. Yeah, and that's practically it. One thing I will say is that I've actually made a bet. Because so many people talk so much shit about the skill, I've made the bet that I will take down Awaken Cyrus by Friday, which is 2 days from now. And if I don't, I will eat rotten fish. It's a bet I made up on stream. I got so strumming, which is a Swedish delicacy, and a lot of EU boys in the chat. So that's the get-go for now. And yeah, I'll be trying to verse Awaken of 5 Cyrus on tomorrow's stream, so if you feel like you should come check that out gameplay-wise, feel free. You can see if the skill is to your liking or not. I'll be doing the rest of this portion of the Atlas and then all of Glenelg Cairns. And hopefully I can do well. Hopefully we can take down Cyrus. The skill is It's a work. It's like it's work. That's all I can say. I mean, all the other YouTubers have kind of given up, and/or streamers. They gave up on splitting steel. Apparently, I think Steel Mage was using it. He gave up on the skill. So, for any boys seeking refuge, feel free. I'm still persevering. I'll hold out till Friday at the latest. That's all for today. Hopefully, the gameplay shown and all the advice will help you with the build. It might not seem like a lot. I will say, I'll show up a comment now. No, this endgame video isn't about doing T19 100% deliriums. I'm sorry if I've clickbaited you. This is about the real endgame that the average player might interact with. Doing a 4 Watchstone Atlas. Maybe taking on their first Cyrus for the first time. So yeah, no 0.1%ers here. We just boomers. So yeah, feel free to tune in for Awaken of 5 Cyrus tomorrow. Have a good night. Bye bye.